The crisis in Maharashtra continues with Eknath Shinde, the senior Shiv Sena leader, being in a hotel in Surat in BJP-ruled Gujarat with 21 MLAs is what we are told now. The numbers could be up or down, and that actual number is very, very important. Mr. Shinde itself hasn't, we are told, been in direct contact with the Shiv Sena leadership. He is in a bit of a sulk. He doesn't want to talk at all. But some of the MLAs are apparently in touch, and there is a sense that there are active efforts to try and bring back some of these MLAs. Whether they're willing to do that or not remains to be seen. But at this stage, the big question is, will the government actually manage to get past this hurdle? Because if it doesn't have the numbers eventually, then the BJP would stand to gain. Is this another move by the BJP to do what they've done in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, an Operation Kamal, as it were, to try and get back? It's a state which the BJP has really wanted. They felt a couple of years back that they were first in line to take over post the elections, but then the formation of the MVA, something which has been stitched together by Sharad Pawar, clearly took the MVA, the alliance, to first place. The BJP has been itching to come back to power ever since. I want to go across to our correspondents, if we can. Can we go across to Sohit or to Saurabh at this stage? All right, we're just going to get them. We're just going to get Saurabh up in a few moments from now. But let's just roll those images, if we can, of outside that hotel in Surat, because these were images which came in just a little while earlier on. It's unclear in those images whether you see any of the MLAs, but these are pictures and some of the first images which have actually come in. Let's roll that video of the situation in Surat. So just again a reminder of what Mr. All right, these were some of the images which came in, I believe, from outside that hotel, the Meridian Hotel in Surat. These came in a little while earlier on. We need to get our correspondents back up to get the very latest on this developing situation. But as I mentioned, this massive political crisis in Maharashtra continues. Will the government actually survive? What we will try and also do in a little while from now is to bring you the exact numbers situation, to give you a sense of what actually takes place. The bottom line is this: it's not an easy transfer of MLAs or transfer of loyalty which is going to result in the government falling down. There are anti-collapsing. There is an anti-defection law which actually exists, and therefore it's not going to be all that easy. Let's go back to Saurabh Gupta, who's been tracking all of these details once again. Saurabh, Sohit mentioning a point to us a few minutes back, which is very important, that contrary to what we saw earlier in the day, a key associate of the Chief Minister is now on his way to Surat to meet Eknath Shinde. So is this an effort to reach out to him, despite him having been sacked as Chief Whip of the Shiv Sena?
Well, yes, the latest, of course, what we heard from a Sena-NCP is that, like Sohit was reporting, Milind Narvekar, Uddhav Thackeray's personal secretary, and Ravindra Phatak have left for Surat to speak to Eknath Shinde to figure out what exactly happened. And this, of course, is the latest on that, but really no response from Eknath Shinde yet. His press conference has also gotten delayed. That hasn't happened. And this, of course, is in tune with what we've been reporting throughout the day, that Eknath Shinde, it seems, is made up his mind. He's removed Shiv Sena from his Twitter bio. He has also not dropped his minister rank in the on Twitter. So that, of course, is the latest, and this we see playing out throughout the day today. This is a crisis for Uddhav Thackeray because this is the largest number of MLAs together who've actually rebelled. In the earlier rebellions, which many questioned of whether the Sena would be able to cope with, which was whether the exit of Narayan Rane or the exit of the others like Chhagan Bhujbal. This time around, there really hasn't been any space for numbers and space to play around with the numbers. So this is, of course, the biggest challenge. And Sharad Pawar will be meeting Uddhav Thackeray in the afternoon, in the evening, I beg your pardon. And then perhaps we'll have a clearer picture of what kind of strategy the Shiv Sena plans to adopt. It's made it clear that it's not going to give in to the demands of a deputy chief minister post. That's unlikely to happen. The Sena has made it very clear that no one can demand and bully for a position like this, and that remains of course, the position of the Sena, even though Milind Narvekar and the others like Ravindra Phatak have gone to speak to Eknath Shinde.
Okay. Let's go back to Sohit, who's also been tracking all of these developments. Sohit, I see it's raining where you are. Has it been raining a great deal in Mumbai over the last couple of days? I'm told it's quite an outpour at the moment.
That's right, Vishnu. It has been raining, and what we see right now is that despite the rain, the leap years and the meeting is going on. I am right outside Varsha, and now, like few minutes ago, I spoke to Gajanan Kirtikar. Gajanan Kirtikar is a Shiv Sena MP who was present in the meeting with Uddhav Thackeray. He just left. I spoke to him, and he said that a meeting of all the Shiv Sena MPs has been called at 7 p.m. at Varsha today. Now, what you need to also remember that apart from Eknath Shinde, Shrikant Shinde is also meeting. Now, who is missing? Shrikant Shinde is an MP as well as the son of Eknath Shinde. So, even he is missing, and that's the reason a meeting has been called of all the Shiv Sena MPs at 7 p.m. today. I asked him how many of your MLAs were present at the meeting that happened. He said 30 to 35. I don't have the right figure with me. And I said, are you still making efforts to ensure that Eknath Shinde comes back? He said, yes. Milind Narvekar and Ravindra Phatak, both Milind Narvekar is the PA of Uddhav Thackeray, and Ravindra Phatak. Now, Ravindra Phatak is someone who has been with Eknath Shinde since the beginning. He was earlier in Shiv Sena, then he went to Congress, but later he came back to Shiv Sena. In fact, both of them live like 2 to 3 kilometers away from each other, and they talk on a daily basis. So, he is a current MLC from Shiv Sena, and Ravindra Phatak is also on his way to speak to Eknath Shinde. So, even the Uddhav Thackeray government is also trying to ensure and use everything possible to have a word with Eknath Shinde. But it doesn't seem as of now that Eknath Shinde is going to entertain, as of now, what we know as per my sources, because there has been a lot of efforts made. Now, remember that similar things happened in 2019, and we should also understand that they are in Gujarat, not in Maharashtra. The reason being why they did not choose a hotel in Maharashtra is because all the working union in the hotels in Maharashtra mostly is of Shiv Sena. So it would have been very much easy for Uddhav Thackeray to speak to Eknath Shinde or other people, and that's the reason they went to Gujarat, they went to Surat, where we also know that Gujarat BJP president is present. We also know that the police security has been increased, and there is no shock, and everyone knows that BJP is in power over there. So all the efforts is also being made by the BJP. Now, what has happened in the last 2 weeks? They lost the Rajya Sabha seat. The Mahavikas Aghadi government lost the Rajya Sabha seat. BJP contested for 3 seats. There was a direct fight between BJP and Shiv Sena for the 6th seat. In fact, Uddhav Thackeray spoke to several leaders and MLAs himself at that time, and many of them told him that yes, we will be voting for Shiv Sena, but that was not the case. Later came the MLC elections. Even there, MDA lost 1 seat.
Right.
Congress was in direct contest with BJP.
Sure.
In fact, for the last seat, BJP had no vote, and what Congress needed was just 8 votes. But
right.
despite that, they were able to form the government.